Football. Manchester City and left-backs. Name a more iconic duo, a more frustrating duo than Manchester City and left-backs. Yep, I'm a little bit late to this. I was out giving little Ruben a walk because he needed to, and I was being a good dad. And as soon as I left the front door, and as soon as he started to sleep, I saw the breaking news on my phone, and I was like, But I had to jump on, and I had to jump on and chat about this, even if it's a little bit late. This is crazy. And to be honest, actually, being a couple of hours late to this news is sort of good, actually, because it's given me time to get a clear head and really think about how I feel about this. And there's many different ways that I want to refund. Sorry to anyone who bought a Cancelo culture. By the way, I bought a Cancelo culture t-shirt myself as well. I apologise all. But yeah, basically, this has given me a lot of time to think about it. And there are many different ways to, to basically approach this and work out if it's the right call or not. And I think many different views are actually right on this. I don't think there's a correct way. I don't think there's a correct view or anything like that. Ultimately, I think the most obvious one, in my opinion, is the fact that Guardiola is right to do this. Is it frustrating? Does it hamper Manchester City? Is the timing really bad? Is he one of our best players when he's on form? Has it left a massive gaping hole in the squad? All those things. Yes, it is very true. But ultimately, is it still the most important decision he has to make? And does it have to happen? I think yes. Sometimes the most painful decisions are also the ones that you have to take. And we sit here and we forget that footballers are real. And I know that sounds really crazy, but we get so desensitized to them that we treat them like commodities and we treat them like superstars, like almost like actors. We forget that they're actually people. I was sort of reminded that yesterday, weirdly, when I was watching Wrexham versus Sheffield United, and I'd watched the documentary of Wrexham before I watched them play an actual game on TV, and I was like, oh, there's Paul Mullin, and he made me think, God, they're actual people. And I know that's a really, really weird tangent, but I guess we sometimes forget that these are people that have personalities and have moods and actually do play football and actually do affect the dressing room. And Cancelo is just the same. We can sit here and talk about Cancelo's quality and what he brings to Manchester City, but it sort of doesn't matter if he's being an knobhead and holding the dressing room back. None of that stuff matters. And if one player can bring down the whole dressing room, it can encourage negativity. And ultimately, you have to make this call. You have to back the manager. You have to be the big man here. And Guardiola, it's either him or Cancelo in this instance. And if he really is being as toxic as everyone seems to suggest he is being, and we can only presume it's true given the fact that we've just shipped off a world-class left-back, then ultimately, what else can we do? And I've said ultimately an awful lot of times here. That is the word of this video, I guess. To me, I agree with the super chat here from GL75. Sam, 1 second, mate. Let me just bring your comment up on screen. To me, this is the right call. Is it a painful call? Yes. But is it the right call? Yes. Sam said, gut is Joao's gone, but if you're a bad element in the squad and not committed, you can go. We need a left back now and hope the club made a plan before allowing. I absolutely agree with all that. I hope the club made a plan. Do I think the club made a plan, Sam? I don't think they did, mate. I think this is very much a cut him off and we'll just deal with it and we'll make do. Like, I reckon, unfortunately, it's very much a get him out. I don't fucking care. We haven't got enough players. Get him out of our club right now kind of situation, which is crazy, by the way. Like, that we are that willing to get rid of a player without replacement, Sam, to me says it must be really bad. It genuinely must be really bad. Like, it must be so super toxic that Guardiola must be so frustrated with him. This wasn't a surprise. It is a surprise, but it isn't a surprise at the same time. Now, if you saw Guardiola after the game the other day against Arsenal, Guardiola made a few comments that were very, very clearly weighted. And of course, the week earlier, by the way, there was a rumour going round that Cancelo had said something in the tunnel saying, get on to his agent on the phone, get me out of here, I'm sick of it, or something like that. No, everyone said that was nonsense. I sort of thought it was probably true. I actually believe the person who leaked it is a relatively prominent, like, in the know poster on a City forum called Blue Moon, and I thought he was telling the truth because it just felt very Joao Cancelo-y. And then obviously a few days later, Guardiola said in the press conference after Ake had scored, he went, "Everyone in the dressing room is happy." Well, maybe not one person, but everyone's happy for him. Which is a very particular turn of phrase, to point out that maybe one person in the dressing room isn't happy for Cancelo, for Ake. And then later on to list a bunch of players. I can't remember who the players were. I can't remember, but it was like Rico, blah, blah. And he went, Mr. Cancelo. The way you put Mr. in front of the Cancelo was very, very passive-aggressive, man. It clearly was. It was weighted. It was obviously weighted. So there was the rumours about him kicking off. Guardiola hinted at one player not being happy about Ake scoring. Could it be the guy playing his position, maybe? And also then Guardiola made a very sarcastic comment about Mr. Cancelo and has talked an awful lot about lack of hunger, an awful lot about, players not being a team focused and not being passionate. It seems to me that he was really fucking unhappy with Cancelo. And Cancelo, once again, there's more evidence against him. Now, Cancelo also apparently famously kicked off with the Portuguese coach who dropped him in the World Cup because he didn't have a good game. Cancelo is also a man who's moved around clubs many, many, many times and doesn't really stay anywhere often. And Guardiola's also talked in the past about Cancelo being very emotional because he's a winner and all this kind of stuff. Basically, I think Cancelo's a brilliant footballer, but to put it in layman's terms, and you can quote me on this, I think Cancelo is a little bitch. I think it's as simple as that. I think he's a great footballer, but an absolute fucking mardarse, to put it in a northern term. And I hate that that's the case. But I think sometimes, I think you just have to kind of call it as it is. And even though he's a great, great footballer, and I've really loved watching him, I really have. I think he's fucking phenomenal. You can't have little bitches in your team who are going to undermine it. And I'm not saying he's a bad person, by the way. I just think he's a mardarse and likes to moan. That doesn't mean he's a bad person. I don't hate him. I don't dislike him or anything like that. I just think he's a bit of a sulk. And when your team's not doing well and you've got a guy who's moaning and undermining a manager as big as Guardiola has to just go, fuck off. He has to, unfortunately, and I think that's just the way of the world right now. And Guardiola can't have his, he can't have his authority questioned. And to be honest as well, if we look through Guardiola's career, if we look what he's done at Barcelona, he moved on fucking Zlatan. After signing Zlatan, I think he moved on Eto'o. He moved on, who else did he move on? Ronaldinho. He moved on Deco. He's moved on some big people, man. Guardiola is not afraid of making big decisions. And of course, as well, other managers done it. You look at Ferguson over at Man United. As much as I can't stand the man, I absolutely respect his authority. Respect my authority. That's a South Park reference. I do respect his authority. And he moved on David Beckham, Jaap Stam, even Roy Keane at one point when he fell out of him. You have to know when to move people on. Unfortunately, you do. And obviously, Guardiola moved on Joe Hart. That was right. He moved on Yaya Toure. And that was right. Guardiola is a big manager. And big managers have to have control of the dressing room. And you've got one player who is toxic and moaning. Joao Cancelo is such a good player. He'll have so much influence in that dressing room. He will. He genuinely will. He'll have loads of influence because he's just popular. And he's a big player. He's a famous player, and he'll talk to Bernardo. He'll talk to Ruben. He'll talk to not my son Ruben Diaz. He'll talk to all the other Portuguese players, and that to me will spread throughout the team. And Guardiola will be aware of this. So ultimately, if you're a little bitch, you gotta go. Unfortunately, you gotta go. But that is life. That is life. Now there's been a few super chats that I've missed. Let me go and find them now. Where we got Vizzy. Vizzy saying, I don't want him here if he's going to cry. We want mentality monsters like John Stones. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, quite simply, if he's going to moan about being in the team, Vizzy, I think you're absolutely right. Everyone has to be pulling the same way. A great team cannot be a great team without everyone pulling together. Because great teams, they're a team. The very word team implies a unit, a collective that all feel and want the same thing. And great teams do not have dissenting players of the authority of the stature that Cancelo has, unfortunately. And I hate it. That is the situation, but it's true. And once again, I'm going to repeat this because people will take it out of context. I do not dislike Cancelo. I think he's a brilliant footballer. I just think he's a bit of a moaner. And I think, unfortunately, right now, that is not what Manchester City need. And if he's really kicking off so much, and if he's sulking, I don't know if he is, by the way, but you can only presume he is. And I'm not trying to spread any rumours I don't know are true here, but if he really is kicking off that much, then ultimately there's nothing he can do. Something has to give. And Guardiola has to swing the axe, and he has done. Now, of course, we'll get onto the connotations of that soon, but that's what it is. So this is one of the connotations now. Cundino as well. Cundino Abdallah, thank you so much, mate, with the super chat. It says a left back has to come in, otherwise it's self-sabotage. You're right. I think it does. Will it? No. Will it happen? I don't think it will do, unfortunately. I don't think City are going to do anyone. I think this is intentional. It's intentional self-sabotage, like it is. But is it self-sabotage if the player's doing it for us? You know, can you play a person who's causing so much trouble? You can't really. And would he play again? I don't know. Maybe you could have kept him round and told him to stop being a knobhead. Get in line, stop it, respect your teammates. But maybe you've always tried that. We're presuming that Guardiola hasn't tried everything. We're presuming that Guardiola hasn't had bunch of chats to him, that they haven't tried it, that Cheeky, that Varane, that maybe, who knows? We're presuming that hasn't been tried. I would guess that this is very much a last resort kind of scenario. They are not going to just throw him out on a whim. He's Cancelo. Like, he's too big a player. Like, maybe I'm wrong here, but I'm sure they would have sat down and talked to him and gone, come on, focus. But I guess he hasn't. Because, look, we know Guardiola's moaned about other players before. He's moaned a little bit about Foden, kind of semi-publicly. He's moaned about Calvin Phillips. He's moaned about Mahrez at the start of the season. He's moaned about many players. He's moaned about constantly. But that doesn't mean that they're thrown out of the club. They are not thrown out of the club. So it must be more than that, man. It must be more than that. It must be that he said, I want out of here. I want to go. Bayern will take me. And I'm not. And he must have been awkward. And Pep's gone, well, fine, fuck you then. Go for it. I don't know. But it has to be. And I know people are annoyed at Man City for this, but this isn't FIFA. This isn't Football Manager. Ultimately, what goes on in the dressing room is too important. It just is. I know it's shite, but I think it's true, unfortunately. Another super chat has it gone. Trevor, thank you so much, mate. Your first super chat. Trevor, you're an absolute superstar. It says the left back position at our club is like the drummer roll in Spinal Tap. Well, there we go, yeah. That's a reference that many won't get, but it's sort of true. It's cursed. There was a great tweet from a lad I follow on Twitter called TJ, and he said, and he summed it up quite well, we sold our backup in the summer, Zinchenko. We signed a fake footballer to replace him. A little bit harsh in Gomez, but he's a fake left back anyway. We signed Gomez. Then we loaned out our academy products in January in the Wilson Esbrand, and now we've just loaned out our first choice left back, one of the best players in previous years in January. Cue Curb Your Enthusiasm music. Dip, 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 bum, bum. Very much like that. It's cursed, Trevor, isn't it? It really is, mate. It really is cursed. But that's how it is sometimes, you know. Condinho also said 5 years without a proper left back, and Cheeky is lazy. Condinho, look, I actually agree. I think the approach, the lack of focus, with like the lack of focus with left back situation has been difficult. For what it's worth, I do think the market is really bad for left backs. I actually do think it is. But I still think we should have done more. I still think we should have took a punt on someone that wasn't, with all due respect to Gomez, a kid who's learning his role in a much lower league, who's really attacking midfield, who's played one season there, with still loads to do. But I do think in this point we've got it wrong, and I think we have to step it up because I think it's been an oversight for a while. Personally, I hope we do eventually change it. I don't know if you will do or not, but it is an oversight. I'm not going to sit here and defend. I'm not going to sit here and defend the club on that because they've got it wrong. They have got it wrong, and we've left with a small group. Caleb Martin with the super chat as well, saying on to Ferland Mendy. Is he available, Ferland Mendy? Is there any issues there or anything like that? I don't know. I'm allergic to Mendy's for obvious reasons. I mean, he's a good player. If he's available and there's no issues there, why not? Anyone would do right now, man. Fucking hell, anyone. Genuinely, anyone would do. Like, to me, I would just want a player to come in. I just want a left back. Like, I might do a video about left backs and all that kind of stuff. Like, we do need someone, Caleb, my friend. We do need indeed. And if he's available and he's decent, well, why not? Fuck no. I don't know. Yeah, I thought he had some off-field issues as well. That's why I said that. I feel like, I'm not saying because he's a Mendy, but doesn't he have some issues as well? Oh, yeah, Aki B pointed out. Isn't he under, like, isn't he currently going through some domestic abuse charge or something like that? Yeah, I forgot. I knew there was something going on. That's why I was like, isn't there a Mendy issue again with him? So, Caleb, probably not, mate. Probably not. Scott, my man Scott Denemy. There we go. Scott says this is his chance. He's going to play left back. Scott, get yourself in there, pal. Get left back. Big Denemy energy. I've heard you. You're a mean fullback, Scott. We need you, mate. We need you right now. Get on a plane to Manchester. I'll sort it out. I'll drop... Who do I know? Phil Foden follows me. I'll drop Phil Foden a DM on Twitter and we'll sort it out. Probably not. Another super chat. Wherever they all gone, there's so many today. Thank you so much, everyone, by the way. It's massively appreciated. Times are hard, so this is very much appreciated. Where else? Sean as well. Sean with a super chat saying, Milan in 5th, terrible form. Italian football is collapsing. Italian football funding is collapsing. If they don't get Champions League, we need to break the bank for Hernandez. Yeah, I would take that. I absolutely would take that, man. Hernandez is a quality footballer. He's a bit poor defensively, but he offers so much going forward. And guess what? You know, Cancelo was a bit poor defensively, but given the fact that we've already got a defensive fullback now in Nathan Ake, I would take Theo Hernandez in a heartbeat because he's such a naturally gifted attacking footballer. Yeah, go for it, man. Absolutely go for it, Sean. I think you bang on. I'll try and do a video about left-back options because I think it's going to be a very important subject and something we're going to have to broach because we need a fucking left-back or two. Jesus Christ. Sean, you bang on, mate. Absolutely. Where are we at now with the other ones? Well, Idian here says we can't win anything like this. We need a replacement. Do you know what? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, mate. We can't win anything like this. We can't. We can't keep letting players go and not having a big enough squad. Do you know what? We still might do, mate, because we still have got a really high quality squad. Now, my expectations for this season have lowered a little bit. That is not a negative. I don't mean that in a way like I've given up. I haven't given up. I just feel more at ease and more calm about what maybe we can achieve this season. I still think with a squad the quality of Manchester City and the manager as good as Pep Guardiola, we can win anything. And I mean that. I genuinely think it's possible. But I also at the same time think it might be that we're pushing it a little bit here right now. We could be pushing it a bit because eventually you can't lose that many good quality players and have players out of form. And I think my biggest issue more is the squad depth. I think we're probably right to let Cancelo go, but I do worry about the size of the squad right now because, you know, one injury and we're fucked. We're starting to get fucked. So we'll see, mate, and you raised a good point. Another one message retracted there, but thank you wherever that was, mate. I really appreciate it. Where else is more? Thank you so much for all these comments, by the way. Kyle Kenny says, not a left back, but we'll sign Karo Matomo and he will sell everything. God, Kyle, I hope you're right. I've been tweeting about him today, actually. I think he sometimes, you know, you see the spark at the centre of something special. And, like, I think Matomo is potentially that. I think, to me, he reminds me a lot of Mane before Liverpool or Son before Spurs. You know, like, sometimes you see a bit of magic happening. I think, Kyle, he could be that guy. So I would absolutely be all up for Matomo. I think he's special. He costs so much money, though. Fingers crossed we get him because I think him, with an overlapping fullback, by the way, magic, absolutely magic. A wonderful player. Toe says, recall Wilson Esbrand from Coventry and give him the Rico treatment. I think that kid has bags of talent. I actually agree. I think he's got loads of talent. I guess the situation that I see with Wilson Esbrand is that I'm not convinced that Guardiola sees him as a Guardiola footballer right now. You know, I think he's got loads of talent, Wilson Esbrand, but I watched him up close when Guardiola was training him, and when we were playing, and when Guardiola was talking to him on the sidelines when he was playing, and he was getting so frustrated by him constantly drifting out of possession and running forward and attacking at every opportunity, which as a fan, I fucking love. But I think Guardiola wants players who keep the ball a little bit more and play it a little bit more cautiously. I don't want to see that. I want to see him go for it massively, but I think Guardiola thinks he's a little bit raw, which is a shame because I think he's really exciting, got loads of talent. But do you know what? We need fucking numbers, you know, so we can get him back right now. I would say that was a very sensible thing to do because we just need the numbers, Tobes. We really do. We haven't got a load of fullbacks lying around right now, and he's got talent and a bit of first-team experience, so get him back, please. Who else? John. Oh, to making hard times softer. John, thank you very much, man. Look, I'm not struggling massively or anything like that, but wow, those utility bills, eh? Very kind, John. You're a lovely, lovely bloke, mate. And hopefully I'll catch you again one day for a pint. John, you're a good man, my friend. Thank you so much, John. Big love to John, everyone. What a top bloke. Very much appreciated. Caleb says, not in trouble at all. He has been starting for Real Madrid. It's about Mendy, Scott or not, but Madrid have been monitoring Davies from Bayern. Also, Real Madrid open to Mendy leaving. I'll have to take your word on that, Caleb. I know he's a good player. I just don't know, mate. I just don't know, really. So I can't go into it in too much detail. But right now, look, I wouldn't go with anyone with even 1% controversy around them personally. I wouldn't, because I'm too scared to do that right now. I think it's asking for trouble, Caleb. But we'll see, man. And maybe you're right. Maybe you're right there. You know, he's a good player, though, at his best. I'm aware of that. And I think we're caught with the super chats. No, we're not caught with the super chats. Mark saying rumours Cancelo foul or Foden trust Pep. Where's that come from? That's the first time I've seen that, by the way. That's fascinating. If so, you can't be having that. That would be terrible. I don't know if that's true or not, but that would be interesting. And Cadena says we ruined the fullback market ourselves to blame. Did we now? Look, I don't know if we did or not, but I do think there's a lack of great fullbacks. Maybe we spent a lot on fullbacks, but to be honest, football was going that way anyway, wasn't it? But I would say, I guess you could say that, but I actually feel like fullbacks have just become more important in football. I feel like we could talk about them, we've overpriced them, but I think fullbacks these days are important as wingers creatively. And given how the game's moved on, I think the increase in price has just reflected the increase in importance. You go back 20 years ago and they were mainly functional defenders who couldn't quite play as midfield or couldn't quite play in central defence, Any old guy played at right back, but these days they have to be such great footballers. So I think that the increasing value, in fact, is all because of the increasing quality. Who else? Kurt is saying, who's crying more this season, Cancelo or Mini Ruben? Probably actually Cancelo. I am not even exaggerating. Ruben is a fucking dream. Our little boy does not cry. He's so well behaved. He cried a bit in the last few days because he's had his first stomach bug and cold thing, bless him. But probably still cried less than Cancelo in the last few days, So sorry, make it focus there. But either way, yeah, probably actually Joao, unfortunately. Ruben can be a little bitch every now and as well, but he's no Cancelo on that front. At least he knows what he's doing. Kyle Kenny says, doubt we'll sign anyone at this point, but we have Peroni joining up next month, and he's the Argentine Zinchenko. Well, he's not played in defence, but I actually tweeted that. I said, how long before we see Peroni play as a fullback? It's going to happen, man. Anyone who's a left-footed midfielder, you're going to fullback, Peroni. Accept it, my friend. Be good at it, and you'll have a career here. We will see, Kyle. We will see indeed. Thank you for all the comments, by the way. Massively appreciated. So, what happens now? Look, I think what happens now, and we'll go and read the article, by the way. I'll jump over here and actually see what it says. This, of course, was over on The Athletic. It says Cancelo's loan deal includes a buyback option of around 61 million quid, which, by the way, I don't think will actually happen. I can't see it happening. I think a lot has to happen for that to be activated, and I just can't see it. I don't know. I can't see it actually happening. I don't know. I think he'll do all right there, but I don't think they're going to pay it for what will then be a 29-year-old. He's fallen out with Guardiola and failing to start any of the last 3 games of competitions. He was literally in the PFA Team of the Year in the last 2 seasons. So this is the quality of the player we're letting go. He played 36 games last season. I think we all know that he's fallen behind Stones, Walker, Ake, Rico Lewis. Basically, it's come down very, very quickly. And where does it leave our squad now? Are we just going to do this now? Is it going to be one of I think it's going to be this now, by the way. I think it'll be one of Laporte or Ake at that side. And then it'll be, whoever. It'll be Diaz. And if Stone's out, it'll be a Kanji. I think we'll just see this. I think we're going to see 3 at the back now. I think that's pretty much going to be it settled. And then, of course, we'll see the defensive midfielders and the attackers and the little kind of box formation we've got here with Rodri. It could be Walker, of course. Walker could just be over here, this side. But it'll be Rodri or Rico. Kyle or Rico on the left. It'll be something like that. I think we're going to play just 3 at the back. I don't mind if it's Laporte, by the way, because Laporte obviously has the passing range. But I think that's what we're going to do. But it is a shame, this. Griffin asking, how hopeful can it be about a deadline solution? Not very, I would think. Not very, man. I don't think it's going to happen, mate. I'd love to say we could do it, but I just don't see it. I don't see it personally. It doesn't feel like something that's inevitable on that front. It isn't ideal. And I am frustrated about this, but I think we're in the middle of something here. And I think we have to accept that right now, it's just, we're in a bit of a transition. Too many players have gone a little bit stale, and every now and then you're going to have a season, and it happens to all the great sides, by the way, a season where things do not go right, and this is probably it. We still could win some it, but it's not looking great right now. Puffed says, a lot of players are jumping ship, or we're getting rid of them at the moment. Gutted about Cancelo, but it had to be done, and no doubt there'll be more to follow. It does feel that way, doesn't it, mate? It does feel that way. A lot of players are jumping ship, and it is frustrating that. Every now and then this happens with football teams, mate. It does. As I was just saying, we're in a bit of a transition. it's crazy to think how long some players have been at this team for now. Genuinely for quite a long time, you know. They've been over here for like most of their careers, some of them, you know, over half their career or whatever. It's a long, long time. So we sort of just need to, accept maybe that this could be a difficult season. Like, we don't have to accept it, but I guess, no, we don't have to accept it. Well, I guess what I mean is just probably realise, you know, like, you can moan if you want to. And I'm not saying we shouldn't moan. People are entitled to moan if they want to. But I guess you could be in denial and act like we could probably save this season. Maybe we can do. But I'm not going to get upset now at the end of the season if things don't work out perfectly. Because I think the situation we're in right now is one where we need an awful lot of change. I think we do. I think we're looking down a situation where we've got the likes of, well, Cancelo's definitely gone in the summer now. Bernardo likely is. I wouldn't be surprised if Laporte apparently has been sniffing around the move, you know. Gundo could go as well. There's 4 potential players. Someone else could go. Like, I feel like we've got a very short squad. We need a refreshment of players, and we need to get a bit of a focus again, because right now we are drifting a little bit, and teams can do this every now and then. You know, they can drift, but it's normal, and it's the inevitable result of a lot of success. That is the problem with success. Success does breed complacency, and it does. I mean, the more comfortable you are in life, the more likely you are to take the eye off the ball. And this is why the great managers, and Guardiola and Ferguson and whatever, Mourinho, and they've all tried to rip up teams and start again with lots of success at times. And this is just how it is, man. This is how it is, and you have to just understand that this is how it could be. You know, look, we still could win a trophy, you know, because we still have lots of inherent quality in this team, and we could grind it out to a big one. You never know. But I do think there's something to be said for backing the decision of this and maybe accepting where we are right now. Yeah, like, we've had it incredible. 4 out of the 5 last Premier League titles, and we still could win this one. I'm not sure we will do, but we still could. But that's just life. That's just life. Pete said the fact that the higher-ups to City back Pep and don't make the individual players more important than the manager is the way it should be. Bang on. I absolutely agree. Chelsea are a mess signing 15 players, Max, by the way. Chelsea's... I can't sit here and look at Chelsea's system and go, this makes sense. It doesn't make sense. They're absolutely all over the place, Chelsea. It's a wild approach that they've got. It really is. And maybe it'll come off at some point, but they are throwing cash at anyone and everyone. And I think we should throw a bit of cash around, but to that extent, probably not, because it's a bit wild and it's a bit reckless and it's detached from reality. Scott, my man, Scott saying, with a super chat, thank you, Scott. Scott said, we will bounce back. We have the best footballing project in the world. Trust the process like we have, and good things will come. Scott is right. Scott is right. We have too many people who are too good at the job and too smart to get this wrong. They are only human. They're only human. You know, they are prone to getting things wrong every now and then. Of course they are, and we've made some mistakes, but we get things more right than we don't. That's genuinely true. It's genuinely true. So we have to remember that. As much as it can be frustrating every now and then watching City fuck up, we still have ultimately won an awful lot of trophies, and we have to be patient, accept the mistakes, but also accept the good bits that come from supporting Manchester City. And most people would kill to be where we are as City fans. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe this is a chance for Gomez to play. Gomez to get a chance and overlap and be a good overlapping fullback. Maybe Ruben Diaz will help Gomez. I don't know, but it isn't great. But this is how it is, and that is life right now. City are never fucking boring, are they? We are never boring indeed. I am not happy about this situation. I understand the situation, and I think something was going to give. And I think sometimes a big guy has to be told to fuck off. Let's get Leroy home. Let's get Sane home. Pick up the phone, Leroy. Text Leroy Sane. I'm going to tweet it right now. You guys can watch me write it out. You know, we can do it together. Hey, man. Hey, Leroy. Just gonna say what we're all thinking. Pick up the phone. I'm gonna do it right now. Pick up the phone. Text Pep. Tell him You want to come back home, and everyone will be happy. There we go. We all agree with this, right? Go and give it a retweet. Love you, man. All City fans are thinking. We all agree with that. We all agree with this. There we go. Can you all go and you all go and retweet it for me? There we go. Sweet. Send. You know? There we go. Send. Done it. Done it. So, here we go. Go and go and give that a like. Go and give it a retweet or whatever. I want it to happen. I want it to happen. And I want this to happen. I want him to come back home. It would be wonderful, wouldn't it? Oh, you're right. I did say all City fans are thinking. I'll delete it and start again. That's what all City fans are thinking. Thanks for the typo pointing out. Who pointed that out? Zetanist. Done. Right, retweet that. You know, I want him back. Donald, I don't think Bayern are gonna sell him, but I wouldn't complain against it. What are City actions? What's he said over here? Let's have a look. Ooh, here we go. Man City are now seeking a replacement Cancelo, whilst losing a key squad member as a transfer window is not ideal. Club insiders discussed they were left with little option. That's interesting. That's interesting, isn't it? I wonder what we'll do, man. I wonder what we'll do. Like, will we actually go for someone? Who could it be? Pedro Porro? Maybe, I don't know. Could it be that we go for Anthony Robertson, Estupia? No chance of Estupia. What could we do, man? That'd be interesting. Who's available? Trent. Imagine with Trent. That would be funny, wouldn't it? Angelino getting back. Chilwell. Is he always injured? He's injured still, isn't he? Theo Hernandez. Who could that be? Could it be anyone? The next one's interesting, apparently. Let's have a look. Right. Let me refresh it. What have they said? What have they said? Oh, so apparently Cancelo was a little bitch about it. I didn't see that. He moaned. He moaned about not being involved, so that's what caused it. Oh, he's already in Munich, which is interesting. I'm looking at to see if I missed anything. Oh, it's going to be Foden left back in it, bloody hell. This is very interesting, man. This is very interesting. Stop spamming Imad. It's a bit annoying for everyone. Alphonso Davies, offer a billion pounds for him. Go for it. Hi, Stephen. Did Cancelo block you on Instagram? I don't think he would have blocked me, mate. I'll check. I don't really tweet at him much, to be fair. I've got a photo of me and Cancelo. So, I don't think he's blocked me. No, I'm not blocked by Cancelo. I haven't tweeted about him, to be fair. We will see, won't we, on that front? Who else could it be? Who else could it be? Where am I? Let me go. I want Leroy back, man. I love Leroy back. I want Leroy back. It's got to be Jose Gaya. Gaya could be good. He could be good. Could be him. Anyone. Could be anyone. I don't really know. Reece James, God no. Barry, I think you've got very unrealistic expectations here. Trent and Reece James, like, I feel like you're aiming a little bit too wrong there. Jose Gaya is the exact kind of level, I would say. Grimaldo, something like that. Souza, maybe Souza. Bono Souza would be good. Looking for Zinchenko. That would be great, you know. Who knows it'll be? Who knows it'll be? Vardiol, maybe? Who knows? I mean, I want someone to come in. It could be anyone. Like, I think there's a whole bunch of players. Get Wilson Esperon back. I mean, imagine a big splash. I might do a video. I'm going to do a video on 5 options that we could do, I reckon. I'll do an option, a video, and let's see who it could be. I think it is fair to say that this, like, where we're at right now with this squad is... yeah, my FPL is fucked up as well, by the way, Tobes. We do need to find someone. We do need to find someone. By the way, like 800 people watching, only 133 likes. What are you doing, man? Get the likes up. Let's get to 300-400 likes if we can. Hit the like button right now, and also let's get the subscribers up. Let's get to 65,400. 65 more subscribers I need. 66, sorry, my maths is terrible. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let's get the subscribers and the likes up. Subscribe and like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care who we get, by the way. I just want... I want someone else. What are you going to do with the Cancelo Culture t-shirts? What? I guess not sell anymore is the obvious answer there, really. Yeah, that's the end of that one. So I didn't make them physically. They were like made to order, if that makes sense. So I haven't lost any money there or anything like that. But I love the Cancelo Cult t-shirt. I can't wear my Cancelo Culture t-shirt anymore. I fucking loved him, man. Yeah, that was good fun, you know. I love that t-shirt. It's devastating, but that's life, unfortunately. Rafael Guerrero is my choice. He's available the free in the summer, so he'd be cheap now. Rafael Guerrero is a good player, isn't he? I would take him as well, actually. Is he available? Isn't he always injured? He's always injured, isn't he? That's the thing. If he could stay fit, that would be nice. He's a good player. Cancel t-shirts. Yeah, that's a very good idea. Let's cancel Cancelo. God. Damn it, Joao. Why did you have to go and be a little bitch, man? Could you not? Could you not? You know, could you not? Could you not be like this? You know, that's how it is. Could you not just be a little bit mature? You know, could you not just encourage your teammates, put your head down and work, and not moan and be a little pain in the arse? But no, he can't. He can't do that. He can't. Yeah, he has to just sit there and moan, and that's fortunately life. Kyle with a super chat saying, do you know what? I really like Kyle's tweet here because I actually agree. I like Anthony Robertson. Kyle saying, as an American, I can say that Anthony Robertson in Fulham is genuinely one of the best players we've produced in years. I really like him. Genuinely. I really like Anthony Robertson. I think he's got a really, really good all-round game, and like, I genuinely like him. I mean, the money would be crazy. They would ask for a lot of money, but I feel like there's a real versatility to his game, and technically he's got a little bit to learn, but I really like his work rate. And I really like his overall game. I was really impressed with him at the start of the season when I watched the 2-2 game against Liverpool, and ever since he's had a really good season. He's got a lot of pace, a lot of intelligence. He's good physically. He's good getting forward. He's a diamond in the rough. Robinson, and I feel like, you know, when you look at people like Robertson, for example, as well, Robertson before he joined Liverpool was a diamond in the rough from Hull, and I feel like this guy could potentially be the same, and sometimes you need to take a little bit of a risk on a player, and Kyle, I like him. I think he's good. I'm not sure if he's world class yet. Well, he isn't world class. Could he be much better though? Definitely. I wouldn't be against the idea of that. I think he's a good player. What's the latest? It's a bit of a breaking news about how they dealt with it here, by the way. I love this. Apparently, Cancelo threatened to leave Man City and was told he could go with no player bigger than the club. He's like, I'll fucking leave them. Go on then, pal. To be honest, if you're going to threaten Guardiola, you're going to lose out. Guardiola has got the biggest dick energy of anyone at Manchester City Football Club. He is the boss. Look, I know to the extent how much Guardiola is the big man. Like, genuinely, he is the big man there. Like, he's the boss everywhere at Manchester City. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say he controls everything at Manchester City. He really does. Like, the whole club is in thralls of Guardiola. So if you got to step to Guardiola, you have to have some fucking balls, and I guess he does. But it was stupid. It was stupid because he's not good at. He was never going to win that, and maybe that was the point. And I guess maybe they called his bluff a little bit there, and that's how it is. You know, I would love it if they could sort it out, but he's made a rod for his own back there. Hella says, "Hi, Kyle, I'm an American too, but Robertson isn't good enough for City. Maybe Borna Sosa is better." Hella Lengsfield disagrees about Robinson. I think he's a good player, mate. I think he could be good enough eventually. Maybe not. Maybe you're right. I don't know, but I've always liked him. He's not like top class right now, but I do think he's got a lot of ability and he could develop to level. The only problem is, once again, given the state of the market, I do think we'd be looking at a situation where they'd be asking for so much money for him, like a shit ton of money. They'd be asking like for 50, 60 million because that's just the market these days, and City are not going to pay that for Anthony Robertson, so that is not going to happen. City are apparently gonna try and do something, which is interesting. Johnny says, sadly, Cancelo always been mentally soft and entitled. I think he is a bit, unfortunately. That's not revisionism. It's just sort of known as accepted truth. So, unfortunately, we just have to swallow that one really and be like, that is life with when you've got a little bit of a player, unfortunately. Robertson isn't young either. No, he's not young, but he's 25. Why are people? I've seen this a lot recently. People acting like 25 is really old. He's nothing. Like Matomo as well is 25. And people are going, he's really old. I'm like, no, he's not. He's got like 10 years, the best part of 10 years left in his career. So like, I don't know why people are pretending that's really like really old. It just isn't by any stretch. Plenty of time. Angelina back again. Yeah, why not? Why not? Cancelo the Mardos. That's what I'm gonna say. Where's that come from? MCFC Town, like, is apparently he got in the rumors that he fell out with Pep. You know, I do love that, him going, I'll fucking leave, and then gone, all right, see you later, pal. Like that's that's. It's funny. It's kind of funny. Like you can't do that and expect to get away with it when you've got a manager like Guardiola. Like you have to go. You have to lay down the law. Unfortunately, like no club guy is bigger than the club, and right now, Cancelo is not bigger than Manchester City. I'm sorry. Like, and also, as Griffin just said, all that Mr. Cancelo stuff makes sense now, doesn't it? It really does, man. But anyway, we've finally got a deadline day that could actually be interesting. For once. We could actually go for a left back. We could actually go for some options here, and that to me is very, 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 very fascinating. We could actually go and sign someone on the deadline day. That would be fascinating, wouldn't it? But guys, thank you for joining me for this video. I've really enjoyed it. I'm going to make some videos about left backs, I reckon. I might catch you later for another video. Cheers for watching this. Life is crazy right now. Manchester City are never boring, are they? You're all superstars. Give this video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. And I'll catch you all very, very, very soon. Oh, football, eh? Cancelo. Why did you have to go and do this? In a bit.